I adapt to stress, overcome challenges, and maintain my mental well-being so I can face life's difficulties with strength and clarity. I build resilience by noticing my emotions without judgment and understanding how they shape my thoughts and choices. I cultivate a positive mindset that encourages growth, optimism, and flexibility, viewing challenges as opportunities rather than threats. I use self-reflection to spot thinking patterns, identify triggers, and choose constructive responses instead of reacting impulsively. I practice mindfulness, like meditation and focused breathing, to stay present, reduce anxiety, and respond calmly under pressure. I treat myself with kindness, accept my limitations, and see setbacks as natural parts of growth. I strengthen my emotional regulation so I can manage strong feelings and keep control of my responses when stressed. I develop problem-solving skills to face challenges methodically, find solutions, and take proactive steps with confidence. I maintain supportive relationships that provide emotional resources, guidance, and encouragement when I need them. I set healthy boundaries to protect my emotional energy and keep my relationships and responsibilities balanced. I embrace adaptability, accepting change, shifting perspective, and responding creatively to the unexpected. I recognize negative self-talk and reframe it to promote constructive internal dialogue and self-assurance. I build a routine with exercise, sleep, and nutrition to support my mental and physical capacity to handle emotional challenges. I engage in hobbies and creative activities to express emotions, relieve stress, and grow personally. I cultivate patience and persistence so I can navigate setbacks calmly and keep pursuing long-term goals. I practice gratitude to focus on positive experiences, boost optimism, and maintain emotional balance. I learn from failures by reflecting, adapting, and using those lessons to improve my resilience over time. I keep realistic expectations to avoid unnecessary disappointment and keep my emotional reactions proportional. I engage with community and social support networks to share resources, encouragement, and practical advice. I limit exposure to toxic people and overwhelming media to preserve my emotional energy and a positive environment. I practice forgiveness for myself and others to let go of burdens and focus on constructive action. I develop my emotional intelligence to better recognize, understand, and respond to emotions in myself and others. I use visualization to anticipate challenges, rehearse responses, and build confidence for stressful moments. I practice mind-body activities like yoga or Tai Chi to reduce tension, increase awareness, and regulate my emotions. I set achievable goals to create structure, measure progress, and maintain motivation and confidence. I reflect on my values to clarify priorities, guide decisions, and stay aligned with long-term goals. I keep a sense of humor to reduce stress, improve perspective, and encourage flexible thinking. I recognize what is within me. Your brain has a built-in reset button, and most people never learn how to use it. When stress hits, try this. Observe your thoughts like clouds passing by. Don't judge them, just notice. Write down what you feel, even if it's messy. Patterns start appearing when you do this regularly. Then, you can actually do something about them. Resilience isn't something you're born with, it's something you build, one small step at a time. Start today. Follow for more mindfulness tips that actually work. My emotional resilience grows through consistent practice, including mindful awareness, self-reflection, and intentional habits that help me manage stress, overcome setbacks, and maintain well-being under pressure. I develop a proactive mindset that encourages planning, preparation, and constructive responses to challenges instead of reacting impulsively or feeling overwhelmed by the unexpected. I engage in daily reflection to identify my emotional triggers, thought patterns, and recurring challenges so I can implement targeted strategies for coping and maintaining balance. I practice self-care because my mental, physical, and emotional well-being are interconnected and provide the energy and stability I need to navigate life's challenges. I strengthen my social connections to gain emotional support, encouragement, and perspective, which enhances my resilience and reduces feelings of isolation during stress. I learn to reframe difficult situations so setbacks become opportunities for growth and skill development. I develop problem-solving skills so I can approach challenges systematically, generate solutions, and maintain confidence while reducing stress and uncertainty. I practice mindfulness meditation to increase my awareness of thoughts and emotions, manage anxiety, regulate my responses, and maintain focus in tough situations. I practice gratitude to enhance my perspective, promote positive emotions, and reinforce recognition of my resources, strengths, and progress. I cultivate optimism to strengthen my motivation, reduce fear of failure, and take constructive approaches to challenges. I expose myself to manageable challenges to build confidence, encourage adaptation, and gradually strengthen my coping mechanisms. I develop my emotional intelligence to better understand and regulate my emotions and those of others, supporting effective communication and problem-solving. I journal to express myself, reflect, gain insight, process emotions, recognize patterns, and develop strategies for greater resilience. I practice self-compassion to accept my mistakes, reduce negative self-judgment, and strengthen my ability to recover from setbacks. I set clear priorities to prevent overwhelm, improve focus, and direct my energy toward meaningful tasks. I engage in creative outlets like art, music, or writing to express emotion, relax, and process my experiences constructively. I limit my exposure to negativity in media, social interactions, and environments to protect my emotional energy and maintain mental clarity. I establish healthy boundaries in my personal and professional relationships to support emotional stability and prevent burnout. I practice forgiveness for myself and others to reduce emotional burden, gain perspective, and engage proactively with life's challenges. I reflect on my personal values to gain clarity, strengthen decision-making, and stay emotionally aligned with my long-term goals. I manage my time to reduce stress, focus on essential priorities, and create space for self-care and growth. I cultivate curiosity to learn from experiences, adapt my strategies, and approach challenges with openness and creativity. I use visualization techniques to anticipate stressful situations, mentally rehearse my responses, and increase my confidence. I engage in physical activity to release tension, improve my mood, and provide a healthy outlet for stress. I practice assertive communication to enhance my relationships, protect my boundaries, and encourage constructive dialogue. I develop patience to reinforce calm responses, maintain a long-term perspective, and persevere through uncertainty. I recognize what I can and cannot control to reduce frustration, stay focused, and respond strategically to challenges. I engage in supportive communities to foster connection, gain guidance, and share problem-solving resources that strengthen my resilience. I use humor and lightheartedness to gain perspective, reduce stress, and encourage flexible thinking. I reflect on past successes to reinforce my self-efficacy, confidence, and motivation to face new challenges. I practice mind-body techniques to integrate my physical and mental well-being and support my resilience. I grow emotional resilience by approaching challenges with calm, constructive strategies so I can maintain balance, perspective, and clarity. I practice mindfulness, like focused breathing or meditation, to improve awareness and reduce tension. I use coping strategies such as grounding exercises and reflective pauses to manage my emotions. I keep structured routines with enough sleep, good nutrition, and regular physical activity to support my well-being. I rely on strong social connections for guidance, encouragement, and perspective when I face stress. I write down my thoughts and feelings to reflect, gain insight, and develop constructive strategies. I practice self-compassion to reduce self-criticism and support recovery from setbacks. I use visualization to prepare for challenges, build confidence, and support proactive problem-solving. I use creative expression like art, music, or writing to relieve emotions and reflect on my experiences. I reframe challenges as opportunities for growth to encourage optimism and constructive thinking. I practice assertive communication to strengthen relationships and clarify my needs. I face manageable challenges to build coping skills, confidence, and readiness for bigger obstacles. I use gratitude practices to notice positive experiences and reinforce emotional stability. I sharpen my problem-solving skills to support calm decision-making and reduce anxiety. I avoid excessive exposure to negative influences to preserve my emotional energy and clarity. I cultivate optimism to stay proactive, persistent, and constructive when facing challenges. I practice mindful movement like yoga or gentle exercise to reduce tension and increase awareness. I observe and manage my self-talk to improve confidence and reduce stress. I set priorities to maintain focus, manage responsibilities, and reduce overwhelm. I reflect on past accomplishments to strengthen my self-efficacy and confidence for new challenges. I practice patience to encourage calm, long-term thinking and persistence. I develop emotional intelligence to better recognize and constructively manage emotions in myself and others. I participate in supportive communities to access resources, encouragement, and shared coping strategies. I practice forgiveness to release emotional tension and engage more constructively with others and myself. I use humor to maintain perspective, reduce tension, and stay flexible in stressful situations. I engage in physical activity to improve my mood, reduce stress, and support emotional resilience. I focus on controllable actions to promote effective problem-solving and reduce frustration. I reflect on experiences to identify patterns, improve responses, and strengthen my coping skills. I embrace a growth mindset to encourage learning, adaptation, and confidence in addressing challenges. I cultivate self-awareness to recognize emotional shifts early and respond proactively. I use relaxation techniques like deep breathing or guided exercises to promote calm and regulation. I maintain a balanced lifestyle to support mental clarity, reduce stress, and strengthen resilience. I perform acts of kindness to foster empathy, positive emotions, and social connection. I limit multitasking to improve focus, reduce overwhelm, and respond more thoughtfully. I clarify my personal values to guide decisions and strengthen emotional stability. I use visualization techniques to build confidence and prepare constructively for stressful situations. I pair optimism with proactive strategies to strengthen my resilience and recovery from challenges. I observe my emotions objectively to encourage intentional responses and reduce impulsive reactions. I learn from setbacks to adapt, build confidence, and develop new skills. I engage in creative or recreational activities to relax, express emotions, and support well-being. I use reflection and journaling to gain insight, support coping strategies, and strengthen regulation. I seek guidance from trusted individuals to gain perspective, advice, and support during challenges. I consistently practice resilience strategies to strengthen my long-term coping skills and confidence. I recognize small achievements to foster motivation, perseverance, and continued growth in resilience. I understand that emotional resilience develops over time through consistent practice, self-awareness, supportive relationships, and patience. I can recover from setbacks, face uncertainty with confidence, and navigate stress while maintaining my well-being, clarity, and purpose in both my personal and professional life. I strengthen my resilience through consistent self-awareness, mindfulness, and intentional practices that help me manage difficult emotions and respond constructively under pressure. I cultivate patience so I respond calmly and thoughtfully, approaching challenges strategically rather than reacting impulsively. I use positive self-talk to reinforce my confidence, optimism, and determination, keeping perspective during challenging situations. I develop a growth mindset by learning from mistakes, embracing challenges, and viewing setbacks as opportunities to improve. I engage in social connections to gain emotional support, share problem solving, and strengthen my resilience during difficulties. I practice mind-body techniques like meditation, yoga, or breathing exercises to enhance awareness, reduce stress, and regulate my emotions. I journal my thoughts and emotions to promote self-reflection, gain insight, and identify patterns, triggers, and coping strategies. I practice gratitude to strengthen perspective, highlight positive experiences, and reinforce my motivation, optimism, and emotional balance. I set realistic goals and priorities to reduce overwhelm, improve focus, and support intentional decision-making under stress. I engage in creative activities to express emotions, relax, and relieve stress, which supports my resilience and sense of accomplishment. I develop problem-solving skills to respond proactively, reduce anxiety, and build confidence in managing challenges. I focus on what I can control to reduce frustration and respond constructively to situations beyond my influence. I communicate assertively to respect my boundaries, promote understanding, and prevent emotional strain in relationships and work. I reflect on my personal values to gain clarity, reinforce priorities, and align my actions with long-term goals. I use visualization to anticipate challenges, rehearse solutions, and build confidence for greater emotional control. I practice self-compassion to forgive my mistakes, reduce self-criticism, and recover more quickly after setbacks. I expose myself to manageable challenges to gradually build coping abilities, confidence, and resilience for bigger obstacles. I limit exposure to negativity like toxic relationships or overwhelming media to preserve my emotional energy and mental clarity. I use humor and lightheartedness to improve my perspective, reduce tension, and encourage adaptive thinking during stress. I maintain a balanced lifestyle with sleep, nutrition, and leisure to support my physical and mental health and strengthen my resilience. I practice mindfulness to enhance awareness of my thoughts, feelings, and reactions so I can respond intentionally instead of impulsively. I perform acts of kindness to foster empathy, connection, and positive emotion, which support my well-being and relationships. I develop optimism to strengthen my motivation, constructive thinking, and persistence when facing challenges. I reflect on past successes to reinforce my self-efficacy and find reassurance during uncertain times. I practice relaxation techniques to reduce tension, promote calm, and improve my emotional regulation in high-stress moments. I engage with supportive communities to receive advice, encouragement, and shared coping strategies that enhance my resilience. I develop adaptability to respond flexibly to change, shift my perspective, and maintain stability during uncertainty. I recognize small achievements to reinforce my motivation, boost my confidence, and encourage continuous progress. I focus on personal growth instead of external validation to strengthen my internal resources and long-term stability. I practice mindfulness in daily activities to foster awareness, reduce stress, and respond intentionally to everyday challenges. I develop patience and perseverance to encourage calm, long-term thinking and resilience in navigating obstacles.